For sure. Okay. Hey, what's up?
What's good?
Okay, eggnog,
Our friend Gavin,
PPE, PPP, and all the P's,
Feinstein and the Goblins.
and the American dream.
You are listening to
Batteries not included.
because it's sugary and it's like makes me feel good. Feels indulgent.
Brand, because there's like some real shit out there.
Which brand? No, it's Organic Valley.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you drink the Organic Valley, it's like cream.
It's so good. It's like drinking melted ice cream. It's like
yeah, exactly. Like a melted milkshake.
And then I just put like a little bit of whiskey or something in it, and I feel like I'm doing things,
Very festive.
Yeah.
I'm loving that for you. And
Thank you.
What were you saying about PPE though?
Oh, so what I was saying about Gavin Newsom is that apparently like all his money is in a blind trust, which means that, or all his businesses, sorry, all his like holdings, of which he has many apparently. So like he can't control like applying for loans and stuff. So it does mean that someone did it on his behalf.
Yeah.
Technically he didn't do that, but it doesn't mean that the fact that they were his businesses didn't have influence on him getting the PPE loans.
Fair enough. I mean, I was going to say that he owns Balboa.
Yeah.
In the city, like co-owns it. So I'm sure they applied for PPE.
Yeah.
But
I wonder, like, has anyone done like a more in-depth analysis of the PPE loan stuff? Because it's like all these really like fancy, like all these businesses that are like very like have super high revenue and like should be chilling are the ones that got the loans. And I'm like wondering why.
I read that. Who did I read that about? It was like some foundation that's like very well known, who got like a fuck ton of money, and everybody was like, what the hell, man? Like they don't want to like dip in their own reserves, so they just take from the little people.
Yeah, I read that about multiple companies. I wonder if it's like maybe there was like a process that was just like jumping through a bunch of hoops, and only the companies that had like the money to pay teams to do the work could do it. Or do you think it was like they had some judgment about who would like use it the best or something? Like, I'm so curious about how it ended up that way.
I know, I'm really not sure.
Drop my kombucha.
It's like, is that kombucha on your laptop?
No, not yet.
Yeah, that's all I know about PPE.
Yeah,
I've read one article in total.
Wait, I just realized we've been saying PPE, but what we really mean is PPP.
We're gonna have to edit that one.
No.
Yeah. Well, I've been like pretty like steeped in all this like PPE. Wait, so is it?
It's PPP.
PPP, personal
protective equipment, and then the loan is.
Who knows?
Something loan. Yeah.
Personal protective equipment, etc. legislation. So I just like see that everywhere.
Yeah, that did a lot of PPs.
So many PPs. Let us talk really briefly. We shouldn't have to like regulate the market like all that much in some ways. Like I don't want to like stop innovation or anything.
Right. I mean, their whole like they were able to get where they were because they made like Uber, like they made something that used to be really expensive and slow be really cheap and efficient. And that's because they were doing this. And now they're in a shitty position because they should never have set the bar that low on prices and stuff.
Yeah.
Because now people's expectations are there. Or maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that's like their whole model.
Yeah.
That's like why it worked. But it's interesting too for me to see like how far, like how many like steps behind government always is. they're always like 10 steps behind. Like also one of the reasons that they were able to like get as big as they got is because there was literally no regulation.
No.
Because it had never existed before.
Well, because it's like, I'm actually been laughing a lot, like related to this. I read the Morning Brew now, like daily, because it's great. And like, part of me wants to add on more newsletters, but this is like the problem with all sorts of information sources is like, oh, this is a great information source. It's so succinct. And then I get like 10 of them and now it's not quick anymore.
Right, exactly. I know. I subscribe to that. And I will say I have been opening it and reading like the first chunk and then deleting it because I can't.
Yeah. I mean, you process so much content every single day. It's like, it's always an ongoing problem. But anyway, they mentioned something about how Robinhood is like under fire for some shit, for like misleading customers. And it's funny because Mikey uses Robinhood and he was like, they're getting mad about capitalism. Like that's capitalism. Like they're doing the job. And it's such an interesting bind that we always find ourselves in with capitalism, because it's like the government gets all upset, Facebook and Google, for like all this antitrust shit. But then the American model is built on them making money moves like that until they get to a point where we're like, wait a minute, you have too much power. You did too good of a job. Screw you.
Yeah. That's funny. I don't actually know too much about Robinhood. I've just like seen a lot of like headlines, but it's kind of like a trade, like where you can trade, like, is it like something that has to do with stocks?
Yeah, you can trade there yourself. It's like a trading platform that you can control. I know very little about it as well. And I also haven't looked into the things that they've done wrong, so I can't like say too much.
That's where we bring our guest on, Mikey.
Please tell us about Robinhood. Yeah, we'll write that down for a future segment.
Yeah.
Mikey elaborates. That like expectation in the narrative is to like find the place that you can make money and do it with the highest like amount of revenue. Like people won't invest in you if they don't think that you're going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you make a lot of money often is like by exploiting something or other.
Yep. I mean, that's the name of the game.
It is.
I feel like there has to, of course, be like some middle ground. And I don't believe like, you know, my dad, like more and more, I'm realizing that he like really believes like in the idea of like changing everything to be socialism. And like, while like that's a very loaded word, and I certainly am not like, I'm so scared of socialism. Like really, you know, great things that I think we all would like to see. But I also don't think that like capitalism like needs to die. Like, can there be something in the middle?
It's a great question. And I wondered about this as well, because I don't know that much about capitalism. And there are people like Elizabeth Warren who were like still capitalists, you know what I mean?
Like, bring her on for the next one.
Like, tell us why. Like, so let's talk about it. because like it's obviously a nuanced thing. Like, I think they would say regulation, probably.
Yeah.
But like, how do you regulate if you can't, like what you were saying, stay on top of things in the works?
Yeah. Agreed. And like, I think it's a little, since like things are moving so quickly now too, and just like the pace of like innovation and everything that we're doing, and by no means this is my area of expertise, but I think
okay, like, we don't have to be experts.
I'm just thinking that I think there could be like some reforms of like how, you know, people go about the process of regulating, because I don't know if it's really like reflective of the time, you know, in a sense. And I think if there was like more like cross collaboration, it would be sort of like easier to not be 10 steps behind all the time.
Right. I agree. Like they have these amazing antitrust meetings, which are like valuable in the sense that you're getting these like CEOs to engage on policy and like stuff. But then all it is like people posturing and like yelling at them for like internet points, basically.
Right. But
there is like value there. Like at least when you see like fucking Jack Dorsey, who like honestly I I think he's cool. But
I mean, that beard though, like, please.
I know. No, yeah. I mean, actually, no. I kind of like it. I think that I wouldn't like him in person. Like, I think he's not someone that I would be friends with because he's definitely very into himself. And
He
that
definitely wears Tevas.
yeah, and that much is clear. Like he's definitely on like a spiritual journey.
And like
wants to know.
linen pants.
Yeah. But like when I read what he has to say, like he thinks about things in depth and like looks at the real consequences and like actually makes decisions that are valuable, like from a like moral standpoint, or so it seems. Whereas with the Zuckerbergs, with the Zuckerberg singular, it's a little like less clear.
Yeah. I guess I haven't like listened to too much Jack Dorsey has said recently. I'm just like so taken by the whole facial hair situation that I can't focus on.
But actually, like, so speaking of Jack Dorsey and like sidebar on Feinstein, because you've seen the headlines about her as well.
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. Can we put a pin in Feinstein?
Okay, well, what I was gonna say when we can go back to it was that like apparently during one of the hearings, she like asked a question to him and like read this whole thing and then he answered it. And then she didn't realize that she had already asked the question. So she read the whole question again. And he just gave the same answer again and didn't even like say anything, which is like poignant.
Yes, I really, really do appreciate that. And, you know, I had one other thing I wanted to say about that thing, but like now we're moving. It's a fast river into Feinstein. So what I was going to say is that Feinstein, like there's, you know, all these like headlines, like she needs to, you know, step down because she's so fucking old. And I'm like, is it Alzheimer's? Is it ageism? Is it, you know, sexism? Is it a confluence between all three?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, like whether or not I was, you know, 28, you know, or 88 or however fucking old she is, I would also be asking the same. I'd ask those questions, like the same question 3-4 times. Like I can hardly remember anything at 28. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I already did that. Oops.
Yeah. No, you would, because fucking it's a lot going on. It moves quickly. And like probably I think most of them didn't prepare their own questions or like they reviewed them, but they obviously were done like put together by staff mostly.
Oh right? Yeah, you don't think Diane isn't sitting in her kitchen writing those fucking questions? Yeah, she probably like she probably had 5 minutes to prep beforehand or something, and was like also getting her makeup done and like you know trying to like do PR for her husband who's like in a bunch of shit.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's like their jobs are high pressure, and she's doing 80 million other things besides that. Like it's like holy shit. She can't make one mistake. But I think for people, apparently, from the one article that I read, which was a New Yorker, and also that article got some flack because it was like all anonymous sources of former staffers, which is like.
And this is a Feinstein article?
Mm-hmm. And it was like interesting for the New Yorker because it was specifically about her, but they also framed it in the sense of like the age question in general for senators. Because now more and more they stay long term instead of like getting, so they kind of like made that the theme, but even still it was a lot of quoting like former staffers who were like, she used to be really sharp and now she used to be like the sharpest in a way, and now there's a change. She's 87.
Yeah,
she's doing great. Like
she's not competent. I mean, how old is that guy who kind of like looks like a goblin who has those like jowls?
You mean Mitch McConnell?
Yeah. How old is Mitch?
He's also super old. He's like 88. Let me see.
Oh my God. And nobody's writing fucking articles about how he's, you know, losing his shit. Did you see those fucking horrific pictures of him a couple weeks ago where his entire body was like, yeah, this is how rumors get started. His hand. Let me be more.
Okay, he's 78.
Whatever.
But still, no, people were freaking out about his hand.
What happened? Do you know?
Oh, it's very like Dumbledore in Harry Potter. Like he touched a horcrux. He tried to damage a horcrux.
I mean, then it's settled. That's what happened.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly have no idea.
I mean, old people like are bleed and bruise really easy, I think.
Yeah, it's probably something like that. I saw a lot of people being like, you're right, almost too respectful online by like not trying to like, you know, start rumors about what it might be because, you know, it's not good to like diagnose someone that whatever, but it definitely looked crazy.
So he was diagnosed with evil?
I'm diagnosing him with evil. No problems with that.
That is so wild.
Yeah.
I started saying that. So wild.
I say that mostly.
Oh. Join us next time for some more battery-free analysis.